put out the video of the A10, and I want to just kind of show what I got going on inside the A10. So I've got the Matek F722 flight controller. I used this guy in a few other airplanes and had it already, so that's why I use this one. It's got battery coming in 3 to 8S. I'm actually running it 6S. We'll get to that in a second. Got your GPS receiver coming in, and then these two ESC outputs. I've got the ESCs actually mounted externally now to try and get some cooling air, and I'm actually going to be putting in heat sinks on them also. And then the signals come into here. We got two motor outputs. There are 6 or so servo outputs. So I've got those for the elevator. The wings get connected. One is for the pan, which goes up in the top, and then I just added one for a nose steering. We'll get to that again also. I've got a little USB extension that comes out here so I don't have to pull the wing off. The VTX, I've got this on the switchable power. VSW, I can actually switch that by the radio. And then I just have the video pin going to the VTX. And then I have camera 1 right now. I can actually put a second camera and be able to switch, but I don't have that set up just yet. And then the other green wire here is for the smart audio on TX4. And GPS is actually on 2, and receiver is on 1, and the blue wire from the receiver is for smart port, so I get all my telemetry back to the radio. So that's the flight controller. The motors are Strix 2208s, and I've got Strix Talon 5x4x4 blade props. As you see, the props are actually cut down. They're to a 4-inch size, and I have this piece that I 3D printed. It's threaded, and that threads right on to a Dremel tool. And then you can, depending on which hole you pick, you can cut blades down by attaching them where that red nut is. You put the prop shaft on there and then a bit in here and it cuts them down. So I was able to cut those 5-inch props down to 4. And those are the, again, Strix 2208s, and they're running off the Strix Bullet 65 amp ESCs. For the battery, well, I guess I can show this real quick. I just set this up last night for nose wheel steering. So the servo pulls and turns the wheel. Pretty basic setup, but it should work fine. And then for the battery, I've got one XT60 plug, but to get 6S, I have 2 Zippy compact 3S 2200s, and then I have a adapter made up to go in series, so 2 3S batteries make one 6S output. And for that, I made these 3D printed plates. I had originally done the holes through from the top, and I put this one in, and it's way too far forward, so I had to make a second one and put it in. And then it's just Velcro, but I also have the strap. It's adjustable. You see, adjustable to full, or well, not full length, but I think it's about 80 millimeters adjustability. And then on the top side, I actually have a plate that's just reinforcing the slot on each side, so to help beef up the foam. And the real fun part on this one, I haven't actually finished off closing the gap yet. I gotta finish that for the look, and that'll come when I actually get down to trying to paint it and everything also. But just want to make sure it flies before I put all that time into that. This is the 3D printed cockpit. It came in 2 pieces, so the front from here printed, and then here back. I then designed this little holder for servo, pop that in there. This is a adaptation of Bonafide Pirates Turtle V2 pan and tilt. I'll link that in the description. And the Cadix Turtle V2, got the board up here, and all I did actually was screw, if you'll be able to see, it's just screwed right into the 3D printed cockpit. And on the other side I have a third post, which gives the ability to have the SD card slot easier to access on the other side. It gets hot normally, so I can put a heat sink on there. I probably should put one on the VTX also. This is a AKK FX2 up to 800 milliwatt transmitter with an MMCX, and then I just have the antenna down inside. And that's got your smart audio also, or yeah, smart audio, so I can control the channel and everything from the flight controller running iNav. And this is able to pan basically 180 degree off this servo. I might try and get a different 180 servo that'll allow me to pan a little further, but for now this is give me a good 180. I did 3D print these. I didn't buy the kit, so I didn't get the wooden ones. I found these online. I'll put that file also. And then I designed these little plates for the screws, and they just screw into, you can kind of see down here, this hole, kind of, is drilled through, and there's M3 screws, 3 screws holding the motor in. One other thing I did have to do to modify this, this is the normal axle point for the main gear wheels. However, if you look, this mark here is our center of gravity for when it's balanced out, and this point made the wheel forward of that, so it sat on the tail. So I had to move it back and redo this piece. I also, as you can tell, rounded off the front because I don't have the motors on there. So here it's a little easier to see. Got our center of gravity here, the axle was here, which made it sit on its tail. So I moved this main gear behind the center of gravity, and now it sits fine. And as you can see, I got some change of color from the first couple of attempts at flying. Didn't quite make it over the slope, and got some green. And yeah, the motor's got a little bit of green inside them too. But this is my A10. Going to be doing some more with it. I did have to actually rebuild the tail. The other thing I'll show real quick. I ended up putting barbecue skewers in the leading edge, and then I put some back here embedded in the foam to try and give it more strength. This folded really quick when it hit the first non-takeoff I had. I had to hot glue it back together, so I just cut out, just cut around the seam, which you can see also I don't have the tail cap on. I had to cut this whole thing out and just pull it out and rebuild it. But it actually wasn't too hard to get a new one in there, and it's looking back to the way it should. So as I said, this is the A10. If you got any questions, comments, please like and subscribe, and hopefully have more videos of this coming out in the near future. Thank you.